In the shadows of Britain's bustling cities, in the alleyways behind nightclubs, and in quiet suburban neighbourhoods, a silent empire is thriving. Its currency is cocaine, and its architects are ruthless, disciplined, and virtually untouchable. At the helm of this underworld lies a syndicate of Albanian drugs lords who, despite decades of arrests and law enforcement crackdowns, continue to flood the streets with high-purity coke. Recently, one such drugs lord agreed to speak to the media on the condition of anonymity. What he revealed paints a chilling picture of a criminal network that has become so deeply embedded in the UK's narcotics trade that some believe it may never be fully dismantled.
The police think locking up one of us will stop the business, but they do not understand. When one goes down, another one steps up. This machine doesn't stop, it adapts until it takes over.
So this confidence isn't bravado, it's a reflection of years of careful planning, tactical expansion, and an unrelenting drive for dominance. So back in the 1990s, while global attention focused on Colombian cartels and Italian mafias, a new force was gaining ground across Europe. Albanian crime groups first emerged as key players in Italy, then rapidly expanded into Belgium, the Netherlands and Spain, each country providing them with logistics, contacts and a foothold in the booming cocaine trade. By the early 2000s, the United Kingdom became their next frontier. The strategy simple, yet devastatingly effective: sell high-purity cocaine at lower prices. The motto amongst these criminal entrepreneurs became sell cheap, sell more. It was a business model tailored for rapid market takeover, and guess what? It worked. We weren't trying to make a quick buck. We were building a brand. People knew the Albanian product was stronger. Word spreads fast. Dealers who couldn't compete were pushed out or bought out. And if they refused, well, some disappeared. So the purity of their production attracted users. The pricing outmaneuvered competitors, but it was their disciplined organisation and sheer ruthlessness that truly set them apart. One Albanian man now living in London, a former high-ranking operative in a major cocaine ring, served 17 years behind bars. He explains that an arrest is not seen as a loss, it's just a minor disruption in a much larger operation.
The police might get one of us, but if they don't take the phone, they've lost. That phone, those contacts, that's everything. We can sell it for £100,000. It goes to someone who picks up where we left off. Nothing is lost. We have all the customers. We have all the drugs. We don't lose anybody.
So it's a chilling revelation, highlighting a key reason why authorities struggle to gain ground. Even successful arrests can leave the core infrastructure intact, allowing operations to continue smoothly with little or no interruption. Since 2005, the National Crime Agency, which succeeded the Serious Organised Crime Agency and Scotland Yard Specialist Crime Directorate, have intensified efforts. Hundreds of Albanian nationals involved in drug trafficking have been jailed, and yet by the end of 2024, almost 1,100 Albanians were behind bars in the UK, a number higher than any other foreign nationality. So back in 2010, 1.5% of foreign nationals in UK prisons were Albanians. Fast forward to 2024 last year, and 10.6%, the highest among all foreign nationalities, were the Albanians in prison. So these aren't just street dealers. Among them are mafia kingpins, powerful figures from the Balkans who command empires stretching across Europe and into South America. Yet drugs are only one part of the story. Albanian gangs are now deeply involved in people trafficking, contract killings, money laundering, weapon smuggling, you name it. Their influence extends far beyond cocaine. They've embedded themselves into communities, businesses and even politics, both here and abroad. So despite the mounting costs to the UK taxpayer over £44 million per year to incarcerate, the networks keep expanding. In a deal with the Albanian government, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak administered deport 200 prisoners in exchange for £8 million to help modernise Albania's prison systems, but critics argue that this is a bandage on a much deeper wound. Labour has pledged to act faster, promising that the British public should not be footing the bill for foreign criminality, yet behind this rhetoric lies a complex reality. For every deported gangster, more are waiting to fill the empty void. Back on the streets, the drug lords who agreed to speak made no apologies for the roles they played.
We had the best product. We work harder, smarter. The others were careless. We were soldiers, disciplined, loyal, effective. We negotiated with the Colombian, we undercut any rival, and we flood the streets with cheap cocaine. That is what we do.
The National Crime Agency has consistently warned of the significant threat posed by Albanian organised crime groups. Known for strict hierarchies, military-style discipline and unflinching brutalities, these gangs operate with a level of professionalism rarely seen in street-level crime. Over the last decade, they've cut out the middlemen and begun negotiating directly with South American cartels, particularly in Colombia. And as the gentleman said, this allows them to purchase larger quantities of cocaine at lower costs, undercut rivals and still maintain staggering profits. But where does the money go? Steve Brocklesby, the NCA intelligence manager, says their main goal is to get money out of the UK fast. Whether it's smuggled in cash, laundered through businesses or hidden in crypto, it finds its way back to Albania. So the NCA, they believe hundreds of millions of pounds are flowing out of the UK annually. In response, they signed a historic agreement with Albania's Anti-Organised Crime Bureau SPAC to track and seize the assets of criminals convicted in the UK. Still, the challenge is enormous. Albanian gangs now operate in every corner of the country, from inner cities to rural market towns. The drugs move fast, the money faster, and the footprint is only getting deeper. In summary, the cocaine is cheaper, the networks are smarter, the violence is colder, and behind it all stands an empire without borders, one that's learned to evolve, to outmaneuver, and to rebuild faster than it can be dismantled. British authorities are fighting a war where the enemy wears no uniform and operates in the dark, fueled by millions in cash, protected by silence and strengthened by every gap in the system. Albanian gangs now control a criminal supply chain that stretches from the jungles of South America to the streets of Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester and London. Their product doesn't just poison addicts, it corrupts economies, destabilises communities and undermines the very institutions designed to stop it. Despite hundreds of arrests, seizures and deportations, their message remains chillingly clear.
You think you're fighting gangs, but you're not. You're fighting a network. Global, invisible, loyal like an army. You can break a link, but the chain will always hold.
Until Britain finds a way to break the chain itself, the empire will remain silent, ruthless, and undefeated.